Welcome to another edition of the It's Cavalier podcast. It's your boy Mac. Tonight, our Cleveland Cavaliers took on the Sacramento Kings for the first of two matchups down the stretch here. And you know what? It's late. I got a few takeaways, and I'm going to keep it short. The fourth quarter was hectic, to say the least. Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, they put in a lot of work from a statistical standpoint. This was not Donovan Mitchell's best performance by any means. And I know that he's going to catch a lot of flack for how certain things played out. But legitimately, I did feel like Donovan came alive in the final 2 to 3 minutes of the contest. He scored 10 points overall in the fourth quarter, going 3 of 6 in the process, 1 of 2 from 3-point range, and was 3 of 3 from the line. You had Evan Mobley, who was perhaps even better, actually way better. Let's not mince words here. Evan Mobley was the best player in that fourth quarter, in my opinion. 10 points, 7 rebounds, was a +1, 4 of 6 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3-point range. Now, here's the thing with Evan Mobley. I know after watching the way that this entire performance played out, a game in which Evan Mobley was brilliant, 31 points, 13 of 18 from the field. So he's knocking shots down left and right. Not only that, but he was 4 of 5 from 3-point range. So he was legitimately spacing the floor out there beside Jarrett Allen and Dean Wade, who also had a pretty great performance. 4 of 8 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3-point distance himself, on his way to 12 points and 7 rebounds. Now, but Evan Mobley was the best player for the Cavaliers in this contest. Outside of that fourth quarter, Donovan Mitchell was fairly non-existent. His total stat line reached 26 points on 8 of 17 from the field, including 1 of 6 from 3-point distance, with that 1 3-point make coming in the fourth quarter on a pretty vital make. I'll give it that, right? Donovan Mitchell, the triple that he hit, some of the shots that he hit down the stretch in those final 2 minutes, they were key. They were pivotal. And that is why I cannot completely just shit on Donovan for this type of performance. And I know that a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, he should have gotten the ball to Evan Mobley more. And, we should have made sure that Evan Mobley was the one closing. And Evan's been clutch during this performance and whatnot. And here's the deal. I understand all of that. I get it. But I'm not so certain that this wasn't more the case of Evan not being involved in the last couple of possessions, or the Cavaliers unable to stop the damn Kings, as they would go out there and just absolutely make everything that they put up down the stretch in that fourth quarter. And it should be noted that they went 14 of 21. That's 66.7% in the fourth, including 1 of 5 from 3-point range, 4 of 4 from the line, and they scored a grand total of 33 points. DeMar DeRozan and Malik Monk in particular absolutely carried. They absolutely carried the Sacramento Kings in the final possessions of that game. So give all credit where it's due. I cannot be pissed off at Donovan Mitchell for that occurring. In the final few possessions of the game, it was evident that Sacramento was going to put the ball in DeMar DeRozan or Malik Monk's hands and ask them to deliver. And that's exactly what happened. Watch those last couple of shot makes from Sacramento, and you will see exactly what I am talking about. They were well defended, especially DeMar DeRozan's makes. He had 2 of them back to back on Evan Mobley, and Evan probably could not have played better defense. It was just better overall offense. It was better shot making. And then sometimes you just got to tip your cap to that. So to me, it's less about not getting Mobley involved because Donovan Mitchell is doing what he is doing, and more so about the Cavaliers unable to stop Sacramento from scoring down the stretch. Sometimes that shit just happens. I'm sorry to say that, but that is the reality. The other takeaways from this game, the point of attack defense is something that needs work. It needs a lot of work, even with the addition of DeAndre Hunter. I think that you have to start turning to Isaac Okoro more. And we saw him, he didn't get nearly as much run as I thought he should have at the expense of Sam Merrill in the Cavs' previous game against the Clippers. I thought that is an area, a game in which Okoro should have played a lot more. And tonight, honestly, to me, I think you probably could have leaned on Isaac Okoro a bit more than you did tonight. Isaac played about 16 minutes tonight. Not terrible for how his season has gone. He's about, around that 15 to 20 minutes a night, sometimes 10 to 15. But I think in games where Sam Merrill is a non-contributor, where you have other Cavaliers not necessarily being able to contribute offensively, i.e., Craig Porter Jr., so I think you can go back to Isaac Okoro a little bit more than you are. And I think if you look at that fourth quarter, that's a perfect example of that. Isaac played 7 minutes and 16 seconds of that fourth quarter. That's a pretty large chunk of minutes for a reserve. Dean Wade only played 3 minutes and 52 seconds. I mean, you look at the scope of the teams the Cavaliers will be facing in the postseason. And there are a lot of teams that can hunt switches on you. There are a lot of teams that can put you into foul trouble pretty quickly. There are a lot of teams that have really good wings out there, and you are going to need Isaac Okoro's point of attack defense to go out there and get you a stop. And it's not just the wings, obviously, it's the guards too. But Isaac is such a capable defender out there. I don't know how you're not playing him more from game to game. I think I've been a big proponent of Sam Merrill. I've been a big proponent of some of the other players on the roster that would take away minutes from Isaac. But I think now is the time where if you're Kenny Atkinson, where you really have to lean into using Isaac Okoro more, especially because of those defensive efforts that he shows out there on a night-to-night basis. This ties the Cavaliers' longest losing streak during this season. If you guys don't remember, they lost two to the Houston Rockets and one matchup between the Philadelphia 76ers that was sandwiched in between those in around the end of January. So this ties the longest losing streak at 3 games. So that's really all I got from this one, man. I hope and pray that we start to iron out some of these littler, these smaller details out here. Donovan Mitchell's shot has got to get back to where it was earlier on in the season in order for this Cavaliers team to make a deep playoff run. There was obviously no Darius Garland tonight. That's another component that was missed. But at the end of the day, the Cavaliers had more than enough talent, in my opinion, to overcome this one. I kind of feel like they threw the game away. This one was right there for the take. And you could tell with how the game started off, with the Cavaliers going on a 20-7 run to open things up, and Sacramento shooting, I think, like 4 of 21, some crazy shit like that. And then in the second quarter, things started to level out a little bit more as both teams shot the ball really well. And that's essentially how the game played out throughout most of the duration following that, right? But Sacramento came to play down the stretch and then the fourth quarter, and Cleveland was just unable to get some stops when it mattered. Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan, even Trey Lyles out there. There were multiple plays that contributed to the Cavaliers dropping this one. The fourth quarter was the most pivotal in those final 2 or 3 minutes or so. But at the end of the day, then the Cavaliers will be okay. Longest losing streak of the season at 3. I'm not going to harp too much on how things ended. I'm just hoping that they can figure some of this shit out as we get in the final month of the season here in April before the playoffs begin. I don't know. As I always tell you guys, if you'd like to reach out to me, now you can. It's Cavalier_pod on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and more. If you'd like to be added to the It's Cavalier Discord channel, you know what to do. Leave a rating, leave a review, send a screenshot and set a review to itscavalier53@gmail.com, and I will send you said invite. If you want to support the podcast in a small but helpful way, consider becoming a member over on Patreon. You can do so for as little as $1 a month. Go Cavs.